Hello viewers, how are you? Welcome today to this episode. I'm Zangla Fitness. I'm sang. Nimekuwa nikiongea Kisii sana. Ndio fanya nafu nikiongea Kisii sana. Hiyo nini inaanza kuaffect kizungu. Unaanza kushrub.
Hadi kukunywa maji unajua pia inafanyanga mzee ulimi na kuwa mzito.
Yeah, especially cold water. Okay. Hello viewers, welcome to today's episode. My name is Mzangila Senior and with my friend here
Mr. Agwash Fitness.
Agwash Fitness. Umekuaje bro?
Nimekuwa fiti labda.
Mimi nimekuwa mzima. Nashukuru, I'm well kabisa. We had an episode last week whereby we talked about challenges of our personal trainers and it was a good episode. People enjoyed it. So today tunaongelea mambo ya weight loss, which I think is a big challenge, especially ukiangalia most of the clients wanakuwa watu wanataka, they want to lose weight. And that's why we are talking about this, because most people don't seem to understand how to lose weight. And as we always say, the difference is knowledge. So if you are knowledgeable in a certain area, it becomes easier for you to do something. So I don't know if you want to say something, maybe advertise yourself or say something about yourself before we move on.
As you have been told by my colleague, my name is Agwash Fitness. I'm a personal trainer and also a gym instructor. So there are some activity I always do at the gym. Number one, let's say I do aerobics, sit, HIIT, co-cardio, and also I can give you nutrition guidance.
Okay.
It is here.
Okay. Good. So on the whole package. So if you need these services, I'll attach his number down there. You can be able to contact him for personal training and more. So today we are going to tackle the weight loss in segments. So number one, we're going to begin with understanding weight loss. And in simple terms, tulisema weight loss in calories out.
Yeah.
That's the simplest way, of course. There's always a lot going on, but then if you are trying to help someone, it's basically telling them it involves the calories that you consume and the calories that you spend.
And also in other terms, if those people don't understand the calories intake and calories in, calories like the energy, and also is the decrease of body mass. If you're baby fat, the reduction. Okay. That is basically, if you don't understand about calorie in, calorie out.
Okay. Yeah. Also, so calories, food basically calories ni energy.
Yeah, energy.
That we get from food. It's measured in
joules.
Joules or kilojoules, and we term that as calories. So let's begin talking about maybe the science behind it. And in this, we are going to handle energy balance, metabolism, and also explain maybe how fat loss happens. Because I think most people would love to know, especially how fat loss happens. Because most people, some don't really actually know. They think maybe when they work out here, that's when the fat loss happens. But then it's not the case. So number one, you can begin with the energy balance. And what is there something you can say about it, energy balance?
Energy balance comes in because basically you can lose weight without exercising. But when you focus more on your diet, in a caloric deficit,
100%.
Yeah. So energy levels comes in. What comes to your mind when you eat maybe protein, carbohydrates, and fats? So the carbs, when you eat this food, it provides you with energy.
Yeah.
So at the same time, if you want to lose weight, you can eat the amount of any food, but it should not pass the number of calories intake that you're supposed to take.
Okay.
So in short, is the calorie.
But then how do you know the number of calories you're supposed to take? Because
by subtraction.
No, for someone, let's say a normal person, you are approaching a normal person, and you are telling them you need to eat this number of calories. how do they know this is the amount of calories that I'm supposed to eat?
Okay. Every food has its own amount of calories,
Okay.
which they have.
Okay.
So you can eat. You can eat as much food as you can. For example, in a day.
Yeah.
But what matters, for example, you're supposed to eat 25 calories in a day. That one can sustain you, maybe for weight loss.
Yeah.
But you have taken that day 2,700.
Okay.
So basically, you're supposed to burn at least 200 extra. So fewer calories than you're consuming.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's a good explanation. A simple explanation would be, let's say, if you have eaten, if you have eaten, let's say, 2,500 calories, then you should be able to use them in the same day, 2,500 calories. Yeah. So that's what we call energy balance. That you are not, because energy comes from the food that you are eating, and each food, as you have said, will give the body certain number of calories.
Yeah.
And those calories are going to be used in different functions of the body.
Yeah.
And sometimes people tend to overeat, and that's when you overeat, you become fat.
Yeah.
Because that energy is stored in terms of fat for future use. So at the end of the day, the food is it's a fuel for the body, so it's giving you the energy. So if you want to lose weight, then your energy has to balance or go lower. Yeah, let's say, because energy balance, basically you can say you can maintain your 25 calories 100 every day, but then now you increase your activity level. Yeah, still that is going to help you with weight loss.
Yes, true.
You don't necessarily need to go to a caloric deficit, but then also you can decide to in terms of consume lower calories, meaning your energy levels, maybe whatever you are consuming, let's say you spend more than you are consuming.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. So that's how it explains. So, and then we were talking also about metabolism, also in the same. So this is the science. We are just talking science issues here, so that you can be able to understand a few bits of this. Yeah. So in terms of metabolism, metabolism affects also weight gain and weight loss in general, because metabolism is defined as the chemical processes that happen in the body. And also one of those processes is converting food into energy. So some people have higher metabolism, others have low metabolism. And for someone who has a high metabolism, like me, I have a very high metabolism. I can consume so many meals in a day and also be able to expend that energy during that day. Nastakuwa fat might affect. Yeah?
Sure.
But then for some people, they have low metabolism. So meaning these processes occur very slowly in the body, and also unazapata maybe wanapewa meal moja ama mbili na wako sawa. And for people who have slow metabolism, of course it's very hard for the body to lose weight. Yeah, very hard. So if you have slow metabolism, you are going most of the time you're going to be fat most of the time.
And do you think metabolism affect the body size?
It's the body size that affects metabolism.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's if you are bigger, I don't know. I don't know if it does, because you can also get someone who is smaller and has a low metabolism, because I've seen that. But and most of the time it's affected by factors like when maybe you reduce your number of meals, when you are not working out, those two sana. If you reduce your number of meals from 3 to 2 or to 1, your metabolism will go down. Yeah, and also if maybe you are an active person and you stop being active, your metabolism will also go down. Yeah, so
even the energy balance also comes in there.
That affects a lot because if your metabolism is low, of course it's going to affect everything else.
Your level of performance at the gym and all that.
Yes.
Yeah.
But then also the good news is that you can increase your metabolism.
Yeah.
You can increase your metabolism basically by being more active. Being more active. And secondly, let's say now this is where, because you see, if you increase number of meals, your metabolism will go up. But then you see now, for someone who is trying to lose weight, they can't increase their number of meals because again they will get more fat. So what you usually do in this case, if for instance you have been eating one meal, you divide this meal into 2 or 3 meals. If, let's say your meal contains at the end of the day 1,000 calories, you can divide this meal into the 300 and another one maybe 400 calories. So they become 2 or 3 meals. This is significantly going to increase your metabolism. Because you see, every time you are eating, metabolism has to kick in to kind of change that food into energy. And now that will help you a lot. Like it's like becoming alive. Ni kama engine yenye imekufa. So once it begins working out, the vehicle begins moving. So metabolism kind of works that way, and once it goes higher, the better for you because you burn more fuel. Because you are now operating optimally, like more. So let's now talk on. It's a lot of science. I hope what I but then metabolism, you can always have a video on metabolism on my channel, TikTok. It's a whole topic on its own. It's a big topic. But then I think people are more interested in how fat loss happens, which I think every trainer knows. So maybe you can tell them, how does fat loss happen?
I think I've come across several clients want to lose fat, but they have no idea how fat loss comes in. So naturally, there are these clients who can come at the gym. They only ask you which day is aerobics. So they tend to feel like aerobics, since it's cardio.
Yes.
You can burn fast through aerobics. Without knowing, basically cardio is only for endurance and calories. Then also fat loss comes in when you do more of strength training. Strength training burns a lot of fats. That actually strength training and how you are exercising play a major role in form of weight loss. But cardio, I think, according to me, is an addition for endurance, basically for cardiovascular. And also fat loss comes in, and also is another way of just focusing on a caloric deficit. You can also burn food you can also burn fats when you focus on nutrition or diet. Basically, especially when you eat more proteins. More proteins tend to burn more fats.
Why does that, like, how does that happen? Let's say if you are eating more fat and more protein.
I think more protein because it has it's the building blocks. It has amino acids, which tend to burn fats, and also. What do you think about that, bro?
So the main essence of maybe increasing your protein intake is, first of all, to preserve muscle mass, because when you are losing weight, generally most people lose weight, but then the goal we want is to lose the fat. And most people, when they lose weight, they lose even the muscle. So when you consume more protein, basically, number one, you are trying to preserve your muscle. Number two, when you increase your intake of protein, it makes you fuller for longer, unlike carbohydrates. So meaning during that process, if you have been eating a lot, you'll eat less. So basically, we are limiting the eating periods. Let's say, for instance, in the morning, if you eat your bread and your tea, in the next 2 hours you'll be hungry. So meaning you will have to consume something. But then asubuhi tuseme, if you have woken up ukakula ugali yako na nyama, you are going to go 4 or 5 hours before you can touch anything. So the main essence when it comes to fatless, the reason why we consume more protein is to get fuller for longer, and that way we can lessen the amount of carbohydrates we are having, because most of the fat comes from carbohydrates. So basically that's the thing.
And do you think this when people say more protein and fats is very essential and important than carbs?
Every food is essential to the body, because you see each food plays a different role in the body, and that's why we talk about a balanced diet. So when you consume so what we usually say is we consume things within moderation. So because you need your energy from of course your fats and also your carbs, and then you need your protein to protect your muscle and grow muscle. So there is no.
So the one that fuel the muscle glycogen, the carbs.
The carbs give you the energy. But then also the thing also, before we go there also another thing I was talking about protein is when it comes to synthesis or processing of protein. Ukikula protein sahi, 30% of the calories from that protein is going to be used to digest that protein. So meaning you have already burnt 30% of the calories by just digesting the protein. Meaning na calories usha burn to process protein. So now you can add to the total of calories you have spent during the day.
Process synthesis.
So when you are digesting a protein, inatekingi time. Hata wewe ukikula kinyama ama kinini unasikia tumbo imejaa, umekuwa lazy, and it takes
3 to 2 hours.
Yes. So yes. So also that's why it's encouraging, because also it burns also energy that way. In terms of, there's something you were saying.
So let me ask.
Yes.
If I don't focus on the 3 nutrients, carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. So if I don't focus on that, then I focus on only protein and fats. Do you think I'll lose fat?
I think also this is one thing people need to know. You can lose fat by not focusing on any kind of meals. Let's say you can lose fat just by lowering the general calories. Hata ukule vibaya. Hata ukule unakunywa masoda, unakula rice, bora you are in a caloric deficit, you can lose the weight. So that's the goal. So if someone, let's say you are finding a new client for the first time, you don't
need to tell them watch
focus on the portions first, because it's very hard for the body to let go the things it loves.
I think portion also, but if the client is only eating and eating, just not focusing on portion, but basically the food must reach the target of calorie deficit that the body that requires.
At the end of the day, we are looking at the caloric deficit, whether the food is healthy or unhealthy. And then now once they begin losing weight, now you can begin looking at introducing healthier meals. So that, because most clients struggle with these things early on, now it becomes too much. Because it's too much, ukienda kumwambia acha sukari, acha wheat, acha rice, acha
for some of them it's very difficult.
Most of them wanakuuliza sasa nitakula nini? You see, because hii ndio food yenye wanajua. So you can't steal everything from them at once.
This issue I came across if you eat more red meat, you might have unhealthy heart disease. So basically unapata sasa nisikule red meat.
You see now, everything done in extreme, of course, is poisonous. That's what we say. That's why we call for moderation in anything. Hata wewe ukiamua ukule veggies peke yake hapa, you will be sick, you will get sick, trust me.
Yeah, you must make
it will be toxic at some point. The same thing, ukikula a lot of meat or a lot of whatever,
the body will also get in plateau.
Yes, at some point, body So, but then there are those foods that you eat in plenty, because at the end of the day, you have to understand that the body is what you feed it. The way you are most of the time, isipokuwa partly genetics, the food you eat will determine how you look, how you think, how you act.
Yes, true.
Yeah, because kuna ile food unakula hata inaharibu emotions zako, mood zako kabisa.
Unaanza kula food alafu kuwa na stomach bloating
yes,
inaharibikia mbaya.
So we were talking about fat, how fat loss happens, and so fat loss happens this way. So for many people, they don't get to see the results they want most of the time, basically because they don't get to a point whereby they can lose their fat. Umeonanga hao clients wenye wanakuja, mimi mbona sione changes, they have been to the gym for a while. But then you see, here is the thing. So for one to lose fat, they have to get to a point whereby the body is using the stored fat as energy. That's the thing. So meaning at some point you will stop fueling your body with food. Yeah, we pay time iweze kureach a point, and most of the time they say it's a period between 8 hours and 12 hours. So if you starve the body for that long, it will tap into the fat. So, and that's why unaonanga intermittent fasting works better. It works magic for people who want to lose weight. So that's basically the essence. So you want to convert this fat yenye iko stored iko energy.
So you have talked about intermittent fasting.
Intermittent fasting. Yeah.
So do you think cyclic ketogenic dieting also?
There are so many types of diets.
So for example, intermittent fasting and cyclic ketogenic dieting, ama ketogenic dieting, which one will you recommend?
It depends which one is sustainable for the client.
Okay.
Because these diets, they work, but then most of them are not sustainable.
So how will you know, depending on the client?
No, because now you have to, that's why we said you have to do these things pole pole. Huwezi ambia mtu acha hii. No, you begin first of all, what are you eating? Can you be able to kind of reduce this a bit? Endelea tu kukula vitu zenye unakula, but then reduce this a bit. And then sasa, you begin introducing, umekuwa ukikunywa soda, how about maybe uanze kuweka ka milk kidogo. It's a whole process. It's usually people ni ile wanataka waandikiwe meal plan saa hii, and it solves all their problems.
Actually, that's the question I wanted to ask.
Ukigundua, ukienda kumuuliza hiyo meal plan unafanya mimi ilinishinda.
So if I have a client today, we want to start like training.
Yeah.
So do you recommend that a client akitaka diet plan tuanze leo na nimpatie leo, ama kama ni kesho since lazima niandike after nimefanya all that, si ndio? So basically, do you think I should give the client leo diet na at the same time tuanza ku work out tukiendelea, ama niache I should know the client for a month alafu then ndio ndampatia diet, ama naendelea kukula vya nakulanga alafu after a month ndio tujue mbona why this happening and all that ndio nipatie diet? What do you think about that?
So you do this in phases, and there's an aspect called periodization. So periodization is basically structuring workouts and also diet programs in a way that follows a certain structure over a period of time in phases. So let's say when a client comes and has goals of weight loss, don't complicate things. If they have come to the gym first, concentrate on the workout first. For them, they have to learn first of all working out. Don't stress them. You need to. Now, if you introduce the diet part on the first week, first day, then you are discouraging because it's a lot to handle during the, because unamwambia bado hujapata form ya squat, you have not done this, you have not, and then you are telling them don't eat this, don't
and they require energy.
It's too much. It's too much for them. So you have to do this in phases. If they have come, just concentrate on the workouts. If they ask, of course they are going to ask about the diet at some point. Tell them we'll talk about this. But then first of all,
maybe from this period,
let's handle this first of all. Once we get this, then we can move on. But then tell them, don't think I'm not thinking about this. I'm factoring the aspect of diet because that's very important. So that at the end of their mind, they know we are going to talk about this. Yeah, but then we are just focusing on this fact. So once they get the hang of the exercise, they know this, how this is done, they are now in the groove of the workout.
Yeah,
now you begin talking about the diet part. But then also during that period, you can tell them, begin now writing down what you eat. Because you also, writing down, people, I think, underestimate the power of writing things down. Because you see the mind, how the mind works, it works on visual things. When you write things down, it visualizes, it sees those things and, creates a picture in the mind. So when you tell them to write down what they are eating, they become more aware of their eating habits. Of course, unaweza pata in fact wakichange wenyewe. So ni ile unaambia, just track what you are eating, write it down, and then ikifika maybe after 1 week or 2 weeks, we'll share with me, we sit down. So hata yeye ataanza kuwa conscious of what they are eating, because pia hataki kuja akuonyesha amekuwa akikunywa masoda manini. So ataanza kuwa conscious, like, I need to do better. Because I'm putting this effort and this effort. So it should come later, and then you see your workout program and all these things. You should have a period whereby you are reviewing them, maybe after 2 months, depending on how you have periodized the client. Like maybe unaweza mwambia we do this after a month, maybe 2 months. But then it's usually good to do this after every 2 months. Because that's when you can know if a certain plan or program is working.
And what is working and what is not.
Yes,
definitely.
Yeah,
understood that.
So I hope you've understood how fat loss happens. So we are talking about fat loss, not weight loss. So fat loss is just we want the fat, fat loss. So fat loss has to happen when you are not. The body doesn't have anything to use as energy, so it has to go to the body to use that as energy. So, common misconceptions when it comes to, I think we have talked about this, common myths. We have talked in an episode with Raymond, I think last Sunday, we talked about that. And one of them is like spot reduction, and also starving yourself to lose weight. So we can talk about those. And also you said mambo ya cardio, mambo ya nini. And maybe I would like to touch on that, because it was the other day I was just teaching it to someone. So when it comes to losing weight generally, there are many ways to lose weight. And we usually say go for that which works for you.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, and then the thing is, and I think trainers also, we should stop from this. Don't discourage someone when you see them doing this. Usiwaambie hiyo ni kitu wrong, hiyo itakufanya hivyo. No, this someone has decided to
do that, and that's what he loves doing.
Yes,
or she loves.
Yeah, ndiye ameanza hii journey. So kama ameanza na kutembea ama na kukimbia, let them do that, because it takes a lot of energy to come out and begin doing. For some people it's not easy. Hata kukaa kwa gym, anaweza kuwa anataka kukaa kwa gym, but then ile confidence or the esteem, they don't have it. So utapata now we are criticizing, that's not the best, this is going no, instead of encouraging people, you are doing well, maybe you could improve on this, that would be a better approach.
I call them preference, then you talk to them.
Yes, so that's good. So if someone is going through the approach of cardio, go for it. It's going to work. You're going to lose weight. It's the fastest way of losing weight apart from diet. So if you're going the strength way, it's going to take a little bit time, but then it's also the best way to lose weight. Yeah. So
And also diet.
yes, and also that. But then the good thing is, as you go through this journey, you continue learning. So usione mtu ameanza cardio ukasema hapana achana na hiyo. No, at some point they'll keep learning these things. That's how the human mind is curious. You get to learn. Unakuta kumbe I need to ongeza ka strength training ndio nipate muscle. Juu utagundua maybe mguu yako imeanza kuwa flabby ama nini, unaanza kuuliza naweza fanya nini? You know. So once people begin this journey, what the best we can do is encourage them.
Yeah, true.
They learn a lot during the way, so we can. That's we can do and hold their hands. Yeah. So there's no best way for a beginner, especially
for beginners supposed to do general.
Yeah, just begin. That's all we need. Just begin whichever way. The walking, running, your cardio, aerobics. If that's what you think you can start.
Then if that's your body, if that's what your body wants, just go for it.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. So now we are talking about myths. So we talked till spot reduction. So it's of course most clients still have that myth. Like nakuja mimi shida yangu tu ni hapa. Hii tumbo unaona hii tumbo. I want it gone. Don't touch anywhere else. So tunaweza fanya sit up tu na nini. Yeah.
That's a myth because in weight loss, you cannot only focus on one particular area.
Yeah.
So you need to focus on general body. And there's no way you use energy and a lot of force with your entire body to focus on a particular area. So there's no specific
way to target a certain area in which you need to lose fat. Fat occurs in general, and also it's good to know that ile place you gonna fat mob is the last place you lose weight because ni mingi.
Then I came to realize a lot of visceral fats is always accumulated in the midsection here, basically at the core.
For most people, but then also there are others. So fat, kuna ile what we call fat distribution, and now this has to do with the genetics because unapata kila mtu ni different. Kuna mtu akona haga big because that's where the fat is distributed a lot. The others wako na mgongo big imejaa mpaka huko because fat imejaa hapo. Kuna wengine mikono imejaa hivi. So fat distribution depends on genes most of the time, and each person is going to have it differently. So kama mikono yako ndio iko na fat mingi, that's the last place you're going to lose the fat because ni mingi generally. Yeah, so
but why is it so difficult to lose the visceral fats around this part?
Mwenye akona fat hapa is the same, hata yeye anasema imekataa kuenda. Ni venye iko mingi. It will take time because it's ni mingi hiyo area. Hii area nyingine unaona iko juu hakuna. So at some point it will go, but then you have to give it time. That's what you are saying. Because if there is a huge deposit of something here and a small deposit of here something, so it will take time to move. That's just like logic. That's how logic is.
So is that trying to be patient and consistency?
Yeah, patient and consistency, and also follow the process. There's no shortcut. You have to follow the process.
If you want to the shortcut, you can do the tamitaki.
Yes.
Then still, if you go there, you still come to the gym.
You'll have also to the discipline. You also there are so many attributes that we get from just working out, being active, because we get to learn things like discipline, commitment, things like self-awareness. These are things we come to learn.
That's how the body works.
Yes. These are like the benefits apart from let's say achieving our goals. We also get to learn, and these things we can apply them in other aspects of life.
True.
So another Another is starving yourself. Starving yourself is the best way to lose weight. Yeah, there are those people who believe it. Nakwambia, I've had a client who lost a lot of weight in less than 3 months. Basically because they went into extreme dieting. Yeah. We are not saying it doesn't work, but then it's not the best. It's not sustainable. And also, ukigundua, the faster you lose weight, the skin doesn't get enough time to adjust. Yeah. So utapata you have a lot of hanging skin.
Yes,
because the skin also has to adjust. The elasticity, inarudi kama balloon. Yeah. And also the fact is that as we get older we lose the elasticity. So kama wewe ni mzee, skin itahang tu, like hiyo ni kitu yenye huwezi prevent because elasticity inaenda decrease with age. So you can starve yourself, you lose weight, but then it's not sustainable. Juu utafika uko njaa tena inabidi unaanza kukula.
Then nguvu inazaisha bwana.
Yeah, pia nguvu, pia mood. Yeah, so it's not the best way. That's what you are saying. It's not the best way. Sometimes it works, but then it's not the best way.
Tumekaa hapo.
So let's talk about factors that affect weight loss. Number 1, diet. So whereby we have talked about the importance of caloric deficit, balanced meals, and sustainable eating habits. Yeah? And the funny thing, I think it's good that I address this because when clients come and they tell me I'm working, kuna clients wengi wametoka gym, juu niliwaambia it's 80% diet.
I'll tell client 70% diet, then 30%. You stick to 70-30 rule.
Sasa wengi wakagundua kumbe gym ni useless.
They have no idea, it depends on how you're eating and how you're exercising. So they go hand in hand.
So we are not saying that don't work out.
Yeah.
No, we are saying that diet plays its role and exercise plays its role.
Yeah.
But then you can't lose weight primarily by just working out without observing your
what
diet.
You're eating.
Yeah. But then you can lose weight by observing what you are eating without working out.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. So nilikuwa naambia watu hivyo wakasema kumbe sio lazima nikuje gym. Yeah? No, come to the gym because the gym has its own benefits. So hizi areas mbili, kila moja iko na issues zake, and you can't substitute one for the other. That's the thing.
And that I think I can also add in terms of when you eat. When you're focusing on diet without exercising, you can lose weight. Also, they have no idea. In the daily activity, they're also doing some exercise. Also, the brains tend to. Someone might maybe ashuke hapa, then you're walking. It's also another way of.
That's physical activity.
You understand?
Yeah.
So they have no idea. So exercise is also required.
Yeah. Those exercise it's not much of going to the gym alone.
Yeah, true.
It's basically doing full activities, what we call ADL, activities of daily living.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Washa nyumba yako, kutandika kitanda, kupika, moving around your house,
kutoka hapo na shop, sijui soko, and all that.
But then now shida inakuja that we have delegated those activities to our house helps, shamba boys, watu wa gate. So we are now sitting generation. Tapata gate siwezi shuka nienda kufungua. Mimi nikitoka kwa keja penye nilikuwa nimelala, nishuke niingie kwa gari, nienda kwa ofisi, nipande lift, nikae jioni tena same thing. Same thing. So most of anyway gym ilikuja kusolve hizo shida kidogo at least, yeah. Anyway, but then focus ni ile factors that affect weight loss. Diet is number 1.
Yeah, true.
So what you eat will determine whether you become fat or maintain your weight or become even underweight.
Yeah, true.
Because if you overeat, most probably become fat
and obese.
Yeah. And then if you undereat, of course pia utakuwa skinny kama mtu kama mimi. or even worse. Yeah. So you have to know that when you are eating, food is just a fuel.
Yeah, true.
So the thing is trying to build a positive relationship with your food so that you can at least know the role it plays in your life. So try to balance. If you are eating a lot, do a lot of work. If you are eating a lot, do a lot of work. If you are not doing a lot of work, eat less. That's all. And then have balanced meals whereby we are saying try to at least have a protein, a carbohydrates, and a fat. Yeah, because each of them has different nutrients that the body needs, and then there are those nutrients that the body doesn't produce. It can only get from the body. The body. So that's why we say balance that, and then you have to kind of have a sustainable eating habit. You will have to work on your, isn't it? You have to take time, invest, learn discipline.
And then Mzangila comes in about I think creatine. People, they have no idea they have creatine inside. Sasa wakitaka creatine, if like kuna creatine but the creatine that you have is not enough. So unaweza semaje kuambia wase kuhusu nini?
It's always good to supplement, especially if you feel you need to. If you feel you need to. But then, because there's the benefits of creatine in mob. So it depends from which angle you are looking at it, like what benefits are you looking for in creatine. Tuseme kama mimi nataka kukua mkubwa, I'll try to use creatine for me because it will help me in that area. Kama ni mtu anataka kukua mdogo, anataka ku lose fat, I don't know if I want to recommend it to them because of the water retention issue. So of course kuna mtu analitaka kama pre-workout. Kama hiyo ni that's your primary goal, just go for a pre-workout. Don't buy creatine. So it depends with your goal, but then is it something I can recommend to someone? Obviously, kwa mtu mwenye anataka ku grow, yes. Nilianza kutumia creatine this month, nimeanza kuona
some changes, ndio nimeanza kuona
at least
naanza kuona bye
my body is utilizing the food I'm taking. You know, I used to take a lot of food and then aisimami kwa mwili.
You know, I saw you lifting heavy weights nowadays. I was almost about to ask you what is going on because I can see your level of strength and go another level.
Yes, the creatine actually it gives you some power. And for me, the biggest thing I've realized is that it has helped me begin absorbing the food that I'm eating. Like the body is using the food I'm eating well. Because I used to eat food, but then naenda choo sana. So sahi I'm going less with the same amount of food I was eating, meaning the body can absorb the food better. And essentially, I think it's because it suppressed the myostatin. Myostatin ile protein ina inhibit grow muscle kwa mkubwa. So body tu inajiprotect. So when imesuppressiwa, so my body now can grow muscle the way it wants. So like that's why it consumes. That's what I believe. So now we have talked factor number 1, diet, which we have said is everything. So ensure if you are losing weight, ensure you are having healthy carbohydrates. We are not saying you drop carbohydrates, we are not saying you drop your sugar, because sugar, it's in all different forms. So your carbs are basically sugar. So have healthy carbohydrates. And we are saying
whole grains.
Whole grains. So these are things.
But do all grains
ziko kwa nini, but then kuna hii nini simple and complex. We are saying complex carbohydrates. So maybe we can give them examples of this.
So you think
kama Agwash, we have things kama nduma, boiled matokes I think, Kama unakula manene zako magidori, mimi usema gidori iko tu sawa.
I think beans.
Yeah.
Beans actually I came across this people think beans is more of proteins.
Yeah,
but it's more of carbs.
Yeah, carbs. Sasa ma-vegetarian ndio wanapendanga hiyo story ati unajua mimi nimekula beans zangu na protein ni veg. Baadaye unajua niligundua kuna vegans na kuna vegetarian.
Ni kweli.
So kumbe mimi nilikuwa nafikiria ni same people.
Kama peas I also saw peas the vegetable. Peas is a vegetable.
Yeah, it is. As in nilikuwa nasema nilikuwa nafikirianga this diets. Kuna mtu ana-identify, si mimi tuseme, kuna mtu anasema yeye ni carnivore. Yeye anakulanga nyama tu. Kuna mwingine yeye ni vegan. Kuna mwingine vegetarian. Sijui kwingine. Kumbe hizo zote diet ni different.
Those are diets.
Okay, sikuwa najua. So tumesema hizo, of course, and then whole grains.
Yeah, whole grains.
Kwa complex carbs.
For example, barley. Wheat.
Wheat and whole grain. With whole grain.
And a whole grain,
Yeah, and then nini tunaweza hapa.
Sorghum
kama watapata hiyo vitu kama hizo. And then now when it comes to your protein,
I think you can focus. Is it proteins?
Yeah.
I think salmon.
No. Who is going to afford salmon?
No, we're talking about as in.
No, let's talk about practical things for someone who
chicken breast.
Chicken. So just say chicken. It's something maybe mtu anaweza afford. Mayai,
eggs.
Do your eggs? Do your meat? So do your fish? But then the thing ni ile pia avoid frying them, deep frying them. Yeah. So avoid deep fried because now people eat good food but then they deep fry it. And when you deep fry food, you change its nutritional value in many ways. Yeah. So those are the best. Of course, kama unaweza afford whey kwa sawa. Kwa mtu mwenye nutritional ni yake iko chini sana ya protein, whey is good.
And also protein. There's some protein with there's some vegetables with the highest protein also.
Yeah, kwa mtu wa vegan sasa mwambie anaweza kula nini vitu kama lentils.
Yeah, lentils. I can also spinach pia iko hapo. And
vegans wana options kidogo. Sasa wao ndio kulanga beans manini.
Do you know mzito vile nilikwambia? I came across I didn't realize that guava people tend to disrespect guava, lakini guava has got the highest protein ever.
But then you see how many people have access to guava. Wewe kula guava lini mwisho?
In 2 to 3 months ago.
Yes.
But I'm saying unajua guava, people wanagopanga juu anajua the moment you eat the guava you go to a long haul. You tend to use a lot of force to. That's why people are always very scared. They have no idea it has the highest protein. So na hiyo ndio sasa wajuangi.
People have many reasons to fear things. So and then in terms of fat,
fats, olive oil, nuts. Also avocados is
the best
actually.
Avocado, nuts is olive oil. Mayai inakuanga na fats as well. So those are some of the key things that we can give. Of course, tutakuja kuongelea in depth each of them.
Yeah.
And then so component number 2 or another factor is exercise.
Exercise is divided into several ways.
Yeah, there are different training modalities for exercise, which all of them can help you lose weight.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, all of them, whether you're doing cardio.
Not basically like losing weight, but also in your fitness level also.
Now we are talking about weight loss.
Okay.
In this sense. So, kama ni mtu anataka lose weight, so we are just giving them general information.
Yeah, true.
So, where can they start in terms of exercise? So, if you can begin by walking, you can begin doing your cardio, your aerobics, and then kama unaweza, you can also do your strength training, your kulift nani. Yeah. So begin anywhere you can. Kitu ni ile uko active. Yeah, uko active.
So consistency actually is everything.
Yeah. In anything you do, consistency. Yeah. And then kitu ni ile tumesema, as you go on you learn more. Yeah, you learn. That's the beauty of the journey. Kitu also when it comes to weight loss, now how does exercise help you lose weight, and why is it important?
So exercise, you can do strength training and also cardio. It's very important because there's a way it helps the body. For example, cardio will help your cardiovascular comes up and also endurance. Then strength training will help you to have strength, power, and also it also can help you to burn some fats which are sagging, for example,
and grow muscle. Okay. And also exercise, I think people also underrate this aspect, also helps you mentally with the mental wellness. Because now it will release the feel good emotions that we call endorphins and all those. And fat loss, for those people who don't know, has a lot to do with how well you are mentally. If mind yako haiko fit, hata kufanya productivity levels inaenda chini. But then you see exercise helps you to relieve your stress, feel good, sleep better, flexibility,
health problems,
balance, breathing problems, high blood pressure,
diabetes,
hizo vitu zote.
And all that.
And hapo ndio watu yani they underestimate the benefits of working out. So hata tukiwaambia enda gym ama fanya nini, is because it has so many benefits.
Hadi kama it is not basically for weight loss. It's also for fitness and also help in healthy problems.
Yes. And it helps you to be lighter. You know, because the more you sit down, the more you lose the ability of walking. So there are so many benefits of working out apart from weight loss. So if you can, amka tembea, amka ruka tembea, fanya, join a gym, join a running community, a walking community.
Even you can do exercise at home.
Yes. So exercise iko sawa. And then number 3 the lifestyle. So this is factor number 3, lifestyle. And these we have sleep, stress, hydration, hormones, and how they affect weight loss. So
I think
tuanze na mambo ya sleep kwanza. Like how do you think it affects weight loss?
I think it affects weight loss because the moment if you don't get enough sleep, definitely pia also your mental health ije kuwa vizuri. So usipopata enough sleep, there's also a way it can help. It can affect your also weight loss journey because pia actually I came to realize like according to me, I think ukilala is when your body when you're sleeping, your body tend to feel is when your body tend to build up. The worn out tissues. So the moment the worn out tissues they got tired, it's really hard for you to lose weight loss.
Okay. That's true. So sleep basically helps you, number 1, to recover.
Recovery.
Number 2, hormonal balance. Number 3, your weight loss happens when you are asleep. Most of the activities
hadi wase ugrow wakati wamelala.
So most of the activities they happen when you are asleep, when you are resting. So that's ukifanya workout yako kuunga ina happen wakati umelala. Nini ina happen like this thing, you lose weight when you are asleep. Not when you are
unaweza kuwa unasikia uchungu but ukilala unasikia tu relaxed kabisa, the pain is gone. Then in the morning ukishaamuka ndio unasikia ile pain sasa.
So Also there's been a lot, I can't remember really the research ilikuwa inasema aje, but then for people who don't sleep well, they are likely to gain more weight. Kuna research kama hiyo. I don't understand the rationale behind it, but then if you don't sleep, you are going to gain more weight, and it's going to be difficult for you to also lose weight. And then now let's talk about stress. Stress, why does it affect weight loss? Unafikiria ina affect aje?
I think stress comes in because I think brains and the mental health plays a major role in the human body. Actually, the moment the brain send signal to other part of the body, even your ego, actually go communicate work. It's only on plateau. Nothing will happen.
Also, stress has to do with, we are not saying about ile stress tu ya kawaida ya life, we are saying about ile prolonged levels of stress, because you can't avoid stress. It's healthy for the body. But then ile chronic stress, now ndio tunaongelea juu kuna watu tu wanakuanga stress mpaka wengine wanaingia depression.
Ni kweli.
So that kind of stress now it raises your cortisol levels to an extent yenye is bad for the body. And now when your body is stressed, it's basically fighting in many ways. And it also, this now interferes with, like, you can't lose weight, you are stressed when your cortisol levels are high.
By the comes raised something to do with cortisol. How will you balance to have high and low cortisol?
Now you have to avoid stress. You have to know how to deal with stress, and one of those ways is exercise. They're also learning other ways. Also sleeping. Sleeping helps, relaxing, doing activities here that you love, that is having hobbies. And then also things like meditation can help you calm the mind. So that's where habit coaching comes in when you are a personal trainer. Sijui kama watu hufunzwa nowadays, but then tufunzwa on the habit coaching, whereby you have to be able to, apart from the physical training and all that, you have to coach your clients' habits, so that when you can always see when they are doing some silly things. So you coach them, unaambia tufai kufanya hivyo, if you feel this, you do this. Kama unamwona anafanya hivi, there's a way maybe you approach it, unamwambia maybe you can try this, so that you are conditioning them different, so that they can stop those habits they are doing. Unapata anasikizanga ama anakuja kwa simu kama kwa gym, you know. So that's coaching, changing the habits. It's the same way now stress, you do that way. You kind of give them positive habits which they can follow to relieve their stress. So let's say, for instance, you are giving them exercise, you can include some meditation and this will help them relieve their stress. So these are simple things that sometimes they might not know, but then it's for you to know. Yoga, Pilates, meditation, but then meditation is usually the best for stressed mind. It really helps because it's more focused on the mental wellness of a person. So that helps because mtu mwenye ako stress, if you are in constant worry and stress, you won't even give you 100%, and also you won't see results.
True.
So we have also talked about hormones. If your hormones are not balanced, of course, then itakuwa ni issue. So people who experience hormonal issues or imbalances, they have so many issues, in fact, especially ladies. PCOS sana. So unapata maybe hata periods hazikuji ama tumbo ama nini.
Ama iko imbalance.
So like the way the body responds. So there are kind of the body has many pathways through which it sends signals through different hormones. So the body works on hormones. Ukisikia hunger, kuna hormone ya hunger, kuna ukishiba kuna hormone ina signal body tumeshiba.
Yeah, true.
So if those hormones are not working or they are not balanced, it means something somewhere is going to suffer.
Yeah, true.
So that's what you are saying. So it's going to be hard for you to lose weight. Yeah. So
Yeah, true.
if you have hormonal balance, it's good. Of course, exercise sometimes can balance your hormones. Eating well can balance your hormones. Sleeping well can balance your hormones. But also there are those who have such a syndromes whereby now they need medication and maybe further checkups with doctors and all that.
Yeah, true.
So all those things affect weight loss, and you have to know which ones. Sometimes also when you have some issues, unagundua you are going nowhere, inaweza kuwa there are underlying issues which you need to go and have a checkup. And sometimes trainers don't think about that. Wanaanza nini huyu labda anakula vibaya nyumbani, maybe anaweza kuwa ako tu sawa kwa they are checking all the marks or whatever that needs, that ticking all the boxes. But then because of other underlying issues that prevent them from seeing results, I'm warning any kind of change. Yeah, so at that point you refer those clients to go and check out. Yeah, because huwezi jua nini inaendelea ndani ya body ya mtu. Yeah, so I think we have hydration.
Watu wakunywa maji bwana.
Wakunywa maji.
So hydration. This nilionasikianga in a day someone supposed to take 3 to 3.5 liters of water. So ile unaambiwanga 8 glasses. Na people tend to take it lightly. Also hydration pain, it help in weight loss in terms of ukikunywa maji, there is a way it also moisturizes the skin.
Yeah, it has its own benefits.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't know much about how it affects weight loss. Sijajua.
But this kuna hii kitu fulani I came across according to me.
Yeah.
This issue, the moment you take hot water, ukikunywa, ina open up the, how do you call it, the intestine walls, ukikunywa inaosha. So also, I don't know if it's not scientifically proven, but unaelewa, it's not like unaelewa mzangla, it's not like scientifically proven, but the moment you take hot water, okay, for example, ukichukua maji moto, umwagie, you pour on a meat, ukimwaga, the meat tend to turn, inakuwa color white kutoka ile red, so ukikunywa maji
now that's someone who doesn't understand how the body works, because what happens when you have something hot, unaanza kusweat. Unajua kwa nini? You see now the body has, when the body has ndio maana unaonanga body wakati unapimwa, people know temperature inafaa kwa 36 ama ranging between 36 and something 37. So the body has to stay there at that temperature for it to work optimally. So when you introduce something hot into the body is going to kind of try to maintain that balance. So utapata ndio unaanza kusweat, ndio ile joto itoke kwa mwili. So it has to balance that mpaka ifike hiyo level yenye inaweza operate na. It's the same way when you raise your heartbeat, unaanza kusweat. Temperature ikienda juu, the body will always try to bring it down to a place where it can operate. So ndio iende place yenye inafaa, lazima iende na temperature fulani, because the body is equipped with the different ways. Ile tunasema inaingia sympathetic sympathetic mode, sympathetic, whereby it's a flight mode, so inajaribu kujipigania, and the body will always do that. So that cannot work scientifically, because the body now has mechanisms of maintaining itself and to have conditions where it can operate. So the water actually can only do its work the way it's supposed to do. There is no other way it can work, because it has channels that it follows. Itatoka hapa iende hivi iende, kuna mahali inakuanga digested ama absorbed, I mean.
Yeah, but I think pia ukikunywa maji kuna vile una feel uko relaxed, unatulia.
Yeah, because those are the effects of the water. It's supposed to
cools down the body.
Yes.
So I think
if it's really cool, you know now this is how it happens again. If you drink cold water,
it cools down.
It cools down.
What if you drink
it's cold? Because also the body is trying to maintain that temperature. Yeah. So inatumia nguvu zenye ulikuwa unafaa kusikia joto ku bring your water to a certain point ya joto. So ndio maana unaanza kusikia body iko cool. Juu imetoa hizo whatever energy. It's like kuna time kuna wale watu wenye usikia miguu imeganda na kuna joto. It's because the body feels that maybe there's a place where inahitaji more blood ama more
blood and there's no blood circulation.
So unapata miguu yako imeganda as in there's always the way the body works. So the cooling effect inakuja because of that kind of way. So ni ile science, people don't understand the science, so we can only let's say talk about what we relate to. So but the body is fascinating. So ni hizo vitu tatu. So the factors that affect weight loss, diet, exercise and your lifestyle.
Yes.
Yeah. So hizo vitu tatu, isikuwa ati wewe unataka kuangalia tu mambo ya exercise peke yake, mambo ya diet. You have to combine these three for it to be able to achieve a good health. At the end of the day, we want a good health. So let's talk number 3, common mistakes people make when it comes to weight loss. So number 1 is relying too much on fad diet.
What is fad?
Ni zile that let's say that are more popular. Like umesikia hii unaanguka na, umesikia kitu inawaka unasikia AF imewea unaanguka na, like these are
the body when you mwili wako crave kitu
as in fad diets ni zile diets which are popular. They might not be well researched on, ama ni kama tuseme kitu zina trend tu, but then they are not
tuseme kama intimidate na cycle hizo tunazijua. So kuna zingine sasa which are coming up.
Mwenye unasikianga slimming tea. Unasikia sijui kuna shake yenye utakunywa imalize nini. Those are fad diets. Okay. Hata keto, because keto has not been researched on vizuri. And also zile unasikia hizo kwanza hizo slimming tea, detoxing teas, kuna shake fulani unaambiwa nini yeah. So those are some of the mistakes that people do because they want mostly it's because they want shortcut. Unaambiwa ukikunywa slimming tea you will slim, but then the truth is if you still maintain the number of calories you are doing, if you are still eating badly, slimming tea haitakusaidia. Even if it was working, haitakusaidia. Yeah, ni kama exercise. Bado hata ukuja upiga hiyo exercise na bado unakula vibaya, haitakusaidia ni kweli in terms of losing weight. Watu wameamua saa hii tu overtraining and under eating. That's also another mistake.
So
but then uko juu kitu yenye tulikosa kusema on relying on fad diets. One thing you should be at least have something that is sustainable. Kitu yenye unaweza follow long term. Yeah? So and something that you can follow long term is something that you have to build over time. In phases pole we understand diet. Okay, overtraining and undereating.
Train, when the moment you overtrain, it might risk the chances of getting injuries. And also undereating, itakuweka pia ways of if you eat ukikula kidogo, there is a way the body maybe might not have the amount inataka. So pia mwili it also wants the a specific type of
nutrients,
Yeah.
amount of nutrients. That's so also under eating, especially if you restrict yourself, ile time yenye utakula, you are likely to overeat now.
Then under eating, you can also be underweight.
Yes,
Can make you to have underweight.
Yes, yes. So inconsistency and unrealistic expectations. Tuliziongelea. Whereby people don't have patience and any long-term habits. So that's also one mistake, that people want results, but then they are not committed, they are not consistent, and then they have these unrealistic expectations. They want to achieve a flat tummy in 1 month, want to lose maybe 10 kgs in 2 weeks.
Yeah, true.
And when you have such expectations and they are not met, then you are discouraged. So those are some of the common mistakes. So jumping on anything that you see at your diet, and then overtraining and undereating, and then inconsistency and unrealistic expectations. So now let's try and maybe the last segment, strategies for sustainable weight loss. So I think we have to share hizo strategies, but then maybe let's just summarize. So number 1, we have said balanced nutrition, and here we have said focusing on whole foods, proteins, healthy fats, and fiber. Unajua fiber ikwangi na any nutritional benefit kwa body. But then it helps regulate your bowels, and also your sugars. So focusing on balanced nutrition, that's the best thing. So try as much as you are eating. Usikuwa tunakula carbs asubuhi, and I think most of the time utapata, if you go to most people's homes, people overeat during breakfast. Utapata wengi hakunanga protein kwa table. The carbs, chai, mkate, blueband, sijui jam, sijui makeki hapo, sijui mandazi. So a balanced diet. So ndio unapata watu wengi wana overeat. So when you are overeating carbohydrates, you are going to get fat. So have proteins, have healthy fats. And you see now the reason that we encourage people to include also proteins and fats in meal, it's because you get fuller for a longer period of time. So huwezi kula ovyo. Ukishakula hii unashiba for a while.
And also the fats can also convert into energy.
Yeah. Still you can use fats as energy. Number 2, effective workouts.
Effective workout. You might find some clients which this workout which is working for them and the other is not working for them. So it's good to focus more on the one which are working. Especially might be strength training, cardio, and also a lifestyle for that individual also plays a major role.
So it's in short, for me, it's be active. Because most of the people who are struggling with weight, they are not active as much. Ni wakukaa sana, wakupanda magari sana, so be active. So that and then once you begin active, unaenda increase activity. Then number 3, mindset shift. So and here is whereby you are viewing weight loss as like a lifestyle. It's a long-term goal as a lifestyle. It's not like nataka to lose this and then once you lose maybe you are 10 kgs, you go back to your comfort zone. No,
it's true.
It's realizing that this is a lifestyle. I should be active. I should maintain this weight this way. I should be eating healthy. So that's, you are shifting. It's like rewiring your mindset.
How you have assigned your mind. how things will work for you.
Very true, in anything. And then number 4, which is the last one, tracking progress.
So tracking progress, it might be maybe
Kupima weight. Measurement.
Pia diet, unaangalia client, una track client terms of what is eating. Yeah.
Progress photos, fitness levels. So the essence of tracking your goals, your progress, is to know whether there's progress or not. Because if, let's say, scale umepima leo, when you started you were maybe 100 kgs, next time unapima unapata maybe uko 90 kgs, then that's when you know you are progressing. But then if you are not tracking your progress, you will never know kama change, grow or not.
Yeah, so also it's good when the client tells the trainer how she feels, how he's feeling. And also Pia, also your clothes size also plays a major role.
Yeah. So those are some of the key takeaways that we have. I hope Milan Kitu, the conversation surrounding weight loss is a tough one, but then it's also simple for someone who understands it. Yeah, and tumesema ni aspect start too that you need to focus on. Yeah, so we have talked about food, exercise, and lifestyle. Hizo tatu tu, ukizielewa vizuri then how they work, then you'll be in a good place. Yeah. So sijui kama uko na parting shot ama kitu nataka kusema ama uko sawa.
I think uko sawa. I think you've learned.
Okay, I hope Milan is one thing or two. Nile kelele imeanza kuongea hapo ikaanza tena kudistract. But then that's how content creation is. Inaweza kuwa quiet and then wakati umefungua tu kamera hivi mtu anaanza kupigisha grinder hapo. Inakuanga hivyo. So but then we hope that you have learned something. And also if you have any questions regarding that, kindly let us know in the comment section. We'll get back to you. Also, if you want to come to the podcast, you are welcome anytime. I'm open to cooperation. Yeah. So these are conversations. There are many conversations that we have, and if you have something that you think we can talk about, please feel free to contact me. Otherwise, from this side, it's a cheers from us. Goodbye.